finally, at the pointy end of the season, it's lace out, and we're bringing you the round one of 2023 finals action preview. And it's great to have you watching and listening the number one non-club affiliated podcast and YouTube channel this side of the Westgate Bridge. Hey, Jamie the J-Dog, how are you? Great, man. And look, happy Father's Day for yesterday, and also happy Father's Day to all of those ones who spent time with their kids, and to all those fathers who don't know if they've got kids. You know, hopefully you have as much time one day that we did yesterday as well too. But it was a great weekend, but it's all kicking off Big Follow, and Jamie the J-Dog, Wallis, welcome.
Thank you, Peps. Yeah, happy Father's Day to you too, and all the dads out there. Lovely weekend. A bit quiet. I think we need to do something about this whole bye in the finals, but it's back on this week,
back, baby. It's back.
On.
I'm jacked.
You are jacked. You've been texting me all day.
I've been on the tweets. I've been on the texts. We've just been like, footy finals is here. The AFLW kicked off. They had a clear weekend. There was some actually really good footy I watched in a couple of games, and a couple of the newer teams reminded me of the league probably about 3 or 4 seasons ago. So they've got a bit of work to do, but the ones who are solidified, they are looking mighty good. So I'm going to ask you about that later on. But
sure.
Big guy, tell you what, I think we've put as much effort into planning this episode as we have for the entire year. And this is what we do. When the big boys come out to play, you're looking at lace out. When Khalees said that she brought the milkshakes to the yard, we're bringing triple choc vanilla jobs to you on the Facebook page, and also listening to us on the podcast. So remember,
Peps,
give us a subscribe, ring the bell, tell your friends, tell your mother, tell your auntie, tell them all about Anthony, Tip, and Woody. Yes, mate.
Did you know Khalees and Bill Murray were going out?
I did know that for a while.
Just interesting. Did you? In what world would you have ever have thought that those two would ruminate and
procreate
and copulate in the same room?
Look, you got to remember that Bill Murray once kissed Scarlett Johansson, so he's got talent. But Khalees did not see that one coming. I will say though, the chat is already going butts. People have been waiting for this. Fang Ali he's thrown a bit of red hot chili pepper, and the J-Dog, he is pumped. He would be whistling through that beautiful gap. And Buzz is back, J-Dog. And have a look. I'll even put this up. How many of you two picked the Saints for the 8? None of us did. And Buzz, I don't even think you picked them. That's how we thought that they were going to go this year. But
the Saints did.
The Saints did.
They tipped out Ratton because they thought that they were a top 8 team.
Mm. And with about 3 weeks to go, they almost did the same thing as Ratton did the year before. Wouldn't that have been just funny? And how would Buzz have written to us? But the Saints supporters, they are flying. Swan supporters are flying. GWS supporter is flying. Melbourne and Collingwood, they're going really well. Port's going also as well too. Carlton supporters, haven't heard much from the Carlton faithful over the last couple of weeks leading into finals. Bit lowly.
Really?
Yeah. They've been a bit quiet. I don't know. Have you seen many Carlton supporters up and about over the last couple of weeks, or do you think?
No. Now you mention it, I don't think are Carlton that excited about their team playing finals the first time in 10 years.
I don't think they are. I think they just. I just think that they're just lucky to be there. I think
they're gracious winners.
What a load of shit we're talking. They are lapping up. They've already gone and got tats.
Tats, the paper printed them at our premiers.
The paper? No, just for making the finals. They're getting tats for making finals. Unbelievable. Now we have press red for red. We've got press blue for Mark McClure and Wayne Johnson on Friday night with Andy Marr. Crikey.
1 year, Peps.
1 year.
You and I.
Top 4, 3 years in a row. Come and speak to us.
1 year, Peps. You and I. If we might even have a Patreon on this. I don't even know. We might put it to a GoFundMe. But you and I should
have it during our AGM.
We will. We'll do that. But we also should put on there that in February of the next year, we will go to Bali and get our teams tattooed with the premiership year on our ankles.
Yep.
and just ride it and just ride or die.
Right or
Just see what happens. Because it's either going to be the greatest thing and we're both going to look like idiots, or one could.
We're both going to look like idiots.
Correct, we are.
I'll spell it like Dreamans and
but we'll return. Every year we'll return and we get the number crossed out and put the new number on.
Chicken scratch, new number. Chicken scratch, new number. Oh, it's going to be gold. Hey, look, it's going to be a bumper show. We've got like all the usuals going to be here. We're going to spin some magnets. We're going to have a quick chat about some of the awards last week as well too. We are going to be doing our round one preview for every single game. We are calling it the Miniskirt preview. Short enough to keep you interested, but long enough to cover the essentials. We're going to go into a brand new segment. J-Dog's already had a snippet of this, and I tell you what, he was blown away. Whether it was a good thing or a bad thing, you'll find out very, very shortly.
I'm sorry,
we're going to splash some cash. Some major contract news has come out over the last couple of days. It's all bump up. I'm going to throw it over to the great man, my friend, my co-host with the most. Where would you like to start?
Seeing that we are a little bit short on footy news, and we have got our what do you call it? The mini skirts.
Yeah, the mini skirt previews. Yep.
I just want to quickly chuck in there. We've got our usual show. We've got magnets and all that sort of things. Yep. The only thing I want to talk about, Peps, I don't know if it's a spin or if it's a whatever you want to call it. How do we feel about Kiss being announced as the grand final? Is that a drag or is that a spin?
Well, J-Dog, I think we might just
Haley off, Ellingworth on. Bloody Winkus piss.
Well, interestingly enough, J-Dog, I did throw the Kiss announcement into being dragged, I must admit.
Ooh.
Because I had this around the other way. I was going to go with the positive, but because we've started with the negative.
Yes.
Look, Kiss, they're great. You know, we love a bit of Kiss. I think I went to their farewell tour about 20 years ago. I used to be called John Farnham. I know Buzz and Lee Ali would know this one, but I was called John Farnham when I played football because of the amount of comebacks I used to have. Kiss have had more comebacks than him. Now, apparently, if Kiss have gone right for this year, I've heard on the grapevine, look, it's already on the rumor mill, that in 2024, it's down to the Seekers, Boney M, the Little River Band, and a new band straight out of England, a lot of buzz about them, called The Who, are all going to be fighting it out for the 2024 halftime entertainment.
Well, first time, Peps, let's just remove the LRB, the Little River Band, from that list because they are quality and always going to be quality.
Oh, the Glenn Shorrock or the John Farnham era?
The Shorrock.
Oh, yeah. John Farnham playing to win.
I don't expect John Farnham to front up after he's gone through what he's gone through. No. But anyway, Peps, I can't wait to see Kiss play Crazy Train. That'd be good. Is that Kiss?
No, that's Black Sabbath.
Oh.
That's okay. That's okay. It's okay.
Kiss are they singing or are they on Wayne's World? Is that them?
That was Alice Cooper, mate.
Oh fuck. I'm excited to see Kiss.
Yep, they are. Look,
I don't know what they're bringing.
How good is that extravaganza? Fireworks, flames, blood down the mouth. Look in the middle of the MCG in daytime. I tell you what, the perfect setting for the perfect band.
I can't wait to get the little when you burn ants.
Yeah,
with the light hitting the metal and just burning someone.
Oh, it's just going to take someone's eyeballs out. It's going to look like
for that.
Oh, it's just I can't wait. Who
is Kiss? I don't even. Do you know? I legit. I'm going to sound really young, but I'm not young.
Mm-hmm.
What songs do Kiss actually sing? Do you actually know any?
Yeah, Detroit Rock City. I Was Made for Loving You, Baby.
Oh, no, that one.
Yeah. Psycho Circus. Shout It Loud, Beth.
I Want to Rock All Night. There we go, Buzz. Thank you. I got no idea.
Buzz went to their first concert back in 1979 at VFL Park, I reckon. Big Trev went there too as well. So that's the first one. The second one, no footy, just get rid of the bye. It's a waste of time. I hate it. It gives advantage back to the teams in the bottom four. It should be, no, if you've made top four, you should be playing off to have that week off and have an advantage over everybody else. You've got 42, 43, 44 people on your list. If you want to hold people off on the last game, you're entitled to do so. There's no difference between round 24 if round 12.
Yep.
No difference. So if you want to rest players, rest them. It's your prerogative to do so. I have no issue with that whatsoever. Last one, and I'm really peeved with this, and I don't even know if you know this one, J-Dog. Did you know that Toby Bedford from GWS got reported last week, not this weekend before, but just had his tribunal heard tonight?
Yeah, I knew there's a hoo-ha, but I didn't understand what the hoo-ha was about.
The hoo-ha is because he laid a shepherd and he got reported. They gave him a week and he said, no, we want to go and appeal this. Oh, we didn't have anyone organised for last week. So we've had to hold it off a week and it got to tonight, and you would not believe it. He didn't get off. It's just like, I said, the new head of football, please get this in order because the league is looking so amateurish. It is not funny.
Not a good start for the week.
It's not a good start. No, just go down to aisle 62 next to the axe where Goody gets it. That's in aisle 58. Get a big broom, one of those big Sabco jobs, and just sweep the joint out.
Got a question. We got a question from Buzz.
Suspension was not there. Stop sooking.
Question from Buzz.
Yep.
Question from Buzz.
Yep.
What's Laceout's view on the buy? What's your buy? What's your take? Because I've got a very my take is, my take.
It's just stupid. It's stupid.
Leave one in.
I would rather have the buy before the grand final weekend because I would hate for somebody to get a concussion rule and could be perfectly fine but miss a grand final. I don't care about the first 3 weeks of finals. I care about the big dance. All right? No one cared what Kevin Bacon did on the porch outside the hall. But when he got on the dance floor, the big dance floor for the Footloose dance, that's what everybody remembers. And all the best dancers need to be on that dance floor.
I don't remember that. I remember the factory scene.
Oh, yeah. Gymnastics.
Anyway, yeah. I think that it's either got to be there where you say it is, or get rid of it. Just get rid of it because the season is so flipping long now. It's coming up to 30 weeks. That's a long season.
Yeah, since they put that extra gather round in, I don't think they. If they had a week, and then they moved a couple of the announcements to the weekend of that, so the Saturday night, to give them a bit more leeway. Brownlow medal, like the awards that they've had this week, that would be the perfect way to do it. But just get rid of it. Just get rid of the pre-finals buy. It was brought in because of, funny enough, Russ Lyon arrested the entire Fremantle team 10 years ago and stuffed it up for everybody. So, exactly. Hey, big boy, guess what?
Yep, what's up?
I've got something for you.
3 votes.
I want to give you some votes. Rightio, 3 votes. The AFLW kicked off on the weekend. Like I saw, there were some pretty good games. I watched the Melbourne-Collingwood game just to sort of see what it was. Really nice crowd. I think it was about 8,000 odd there for the first game of the weekend. And those two teams played some pretty good football on the Friday night compared to some of the other games as well too. So I think there is going to be a gap between the really established teams and the newer teams in the comp. And you can already see that with a couple of the scores that came through. But they got their weekend completely free. Local footy had their free weekend as well too. So it was good to get some exposure from that perspective. Kiss has signed on for entertainment, so at least they got someone. I know Crowded House pulled out at the last moment. That's a shame. What can you do? And I'll also throw out to the Cheezel. We've got to give the Cheezel a bit of love for him picking up the Rising Star last week. I could throw this one into being dragged, being my kids, and a little bit myself being absolutely devastated that Mitch Owens did not get across. The multi did not come in. And so they're just going to have to wait another year for the PlayStation 5. So can't do much about that. But a couple of good things to finish it off. And you know what? The finals are upon us. That's also going to get my
3 votes.
All right.
Rightio. Let's Peps.
Yes, mate.
Do we want to debut the new segment?
Can we debut the new segment? Can I read some stuff off? Can I just read some things off the chat first of all? All right. Couple of things off the chat that's
they're
already
they're coming for you.
They're coming for me. And you know what? Come for me, people. Come for me. I know you want a shot at the title. I don't care. I'll duck and weave all night if I have to. But Peps, we love you. J-Dog, you are the best. Kiss is awesome. The oldies are back. There's just so much positivity. And it's all about us being the single best podcast. I've watched some of the podcasts on YouTube. Like, subscribe, and make sure you ring the bell. And they are nothing compared to us. They've got no life. They've got no colour. They're bald. They're ugly, and they just do not get you excited. Get on the P train and the J Dog, and you will be absolutely loving it. But what I want to tell you is that what you've just mentioned there is that they are the best. You're the best, meaning the best and fairest winners for 2023. Now, if anybody knows, because we now are on YouTube, a number of the things that we normally would do over the years, we would just play a song and it'd get you all fired up. But because of the copyright laws, we can't take a song without pretty much paying for it. And because we're two dads with no disposable income, we've had to make a few shortcuts when it comes to the anthem. So I went away and I've done some work. I did some work and I've got behind the mic and I want to debut our brand new segment called You're the Best with the single greatest intro behind, you know the one, Bags, Bags, Bags. Stay tuned. Here we go. You're the best on ground. You'll never buy another drink in town. You're the best on ground. The number one player pound for pound. You're the best on ground. Let's celebrate you being your champ. Oh, yeah. How's that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? This one is called You're the Best on Ground.
You were
ever going to keep you down.
You were only about half a second off timing, Peps.
Hey, that's the way that we roll. But you know what? We're not going to get a copyright strike from YouTube, are we? All right, look, so a couple of best and fairest have already been announced, and these were obviously by teams that thought they were no chance of making finals. And we're talking about the Gold Coast Suns, and we're also talking about the West Coast Eagles. So Noah Anderson won his first club championship award at the Suns. Had a cracking fourth season of football. He led the Gold Coast in total disposals and score involvements and played all available games this year. So he took it out. Sam Collins was second. Matt, the redhead wrecking ball himself, came in third. And a really nice one to finish in fourth was Charlie Ballard. I know our old mate Tommy Roca will be frothing over that one as well too. The other team that had their best and fairest over the weekend was the West Coast Eagles, Meth Toast, whatever you want to call them. They had their best and fairest over the weekend. And we're talking about Tim Kelly. He's the John Worsfold medalist for 2023. He was pretty much the only player that they could pick because nobody else, I think, played enough games to qualify. He had a strong year. The 29-year-old led the Eagles in disposals, goal assists, clearances. He took much of the control of an injury-struck young on-ball unit. But when I look at their top five, it reminds me of the days when Melbourne were at their lowest of lows when Dean Turlick came third in a Melbourne best and fairest. So Tim Kelly won. Oscar Allen came in third. Oscar Allen second. Liam Duggan in third. Jaden Hunt, our boy, came in at fourth. And Shannon Hearn, who only played about 13 games, came in fourth. So absolutely stunned by that one as well too. But Tim Kelly wins it. Noah Anderson win it. That is your first ever listening to You're the Best on Ground. You'll never buy another drink in town. You're the best on ground. You're the best on ground. And we'll be playing that every single week when there's a brand new best and fairest winner playing. So tell us on the chat. Tell us on the comments below what you thought of the magnificent intro to You're the Best on Ground. All right, Jamie, I think there's a couple of things coming through at the moment, and I think we must have to go to our other one, which is Bags, Bags, Bags. We love it when they kick 'em. There were no bags, Jamie. Here, no bags because we had the weekend off. And I also pushed the wrong button. I meant to go this one.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money,
$1 bill. Bling, bling, got the day. Oh, plenty of splash the cash. New contracts kicking in left, right, and center, J-Dog. Let me go through them for you. All right. First. Caleb Poulter leaves Collingwood, goes to the Doggies, gets 2 more years down there at the kennel, and they are excited by him. Only issue is he runs the wrong way with the footy, but they're hoping to get that out of him in a preseason or two. Jake, the sexy mustache lever, another 4 years at the D's. Very, very happy with one of the best interceptors at the league. Essendon have finally got some news to share. Harry Jones and Nick Bryan, 2 more years each at the Dons. Your boy, high-flying Mitch Georgiades, 4 years at the Power, and I want to hear what you think about that one there, J-Dog. And a couple others to flow through. We've also got Sam Flanders has extended out at the Gold Coast Suns, so a really nice pickup for them, especially after Dimmer's come on board, so there's a lot of faith going on there. And Darcy Parish, interestingly enough, 5-year extension at Essendon. All right, J-Dog. I'm wrapped about Lever. The other ones I'm not going to comment on, but your thoughts with Mitch Georgiades. Did you see 4 years coming his way?
To be honest, no. I thought he was probably going to return home after having a season where he has developed a bit of a case of the yips. And I thought that Marshall was probably the preferred forward ahead with Finlayson also down there. But it's great to see a kid with talent like that who was a first-round pickup with also Dixon being signed on for 1 more year. I think it's a nice little transition.
Yeah, I think Dicko. I like Dicko. You need it because I think you're still a bit thin down in the forward, like the big key forward. And he's still a beast. You just got to try and extract as much as you can out of him for 1 season.
Correct.
It'd actually be nice for him to rest him against the lower ends, and maybe get 15, 16 games out of him this year, and just try and extend him out rather than just push him all the way through and get to the end. And yeah,
I reckon it'd be lucky to get probably 12 games out of Dixon next season, to be honest.
Yep.
And if he does, he has to play just forward only. Don't put him in the ruck at all because he's just too fragile.
So he's going the Brad Elton's route. He's just going to do nothing for the first half of the season, play the back end, and play in another flag.
Premiership. Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic. All right. Awesome. Oh, sorry, prelim. No, all righty. All right. Now, great question. How does Port afford Grundy now? You can't. And so he's going to go to Sydney, or he's going to stay at Melbourne. It's a choice. I don't know which way he's going to go.
Or he'll come to Port Adelaide, be on a 3rd-round pick we'll take from someone, and then we'll give him to you, and you'll pay half his contract.
Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. All righty. Okay, so big guy. I reckon we get into the miniskirts. All right,
Do it.
the miniskirt preview, like I said, short enough to keep you interested, long enough to cover the essentials.
I'm going to get the stopwatch up.
8 minutes. We're going to go 8 minutes per game.
You love to talk.
Calm down.
You talk so much.
Listen, I've planned for these. I've planned for each of these.
It's
reviews.
the number one feedback I get every week. Direct messages from me from our YouTube panel saying, "Shut up, Peps."
Look, it wouldn't surprise me. Had an interview today.
Did you?
Yeah.
All right. Let me. Yeah. Thank you. Bo's with me.
Who? Bo.
He's with me.
Who's Bo?
Bo Hawkins.
Bo Hawkins. J-Dog finally talked.
Yeah, because I can't talk.
Listen, Bo, just don't make an appearance. You got to qualify for 4 episodes before you start making comments like that.
Nah, it's fair.
It's
good
fair.
call.
No, it's a good call. All right, let's get into the first game. And have a look at this, listeners and viewers. First game that we are going to be doing. Look at that. Brand new background as well, too. We are going 8 minutes. Is that 80 minutes, J-Dog?
No, it's 8 minutes. Just on the background thing. Like mirror. The thing that.
Oh, mirror image. And go.
Yeah, done.
All right. Thursday night, Pies versus the Ds. I'm absolutely excited for this. I know a lot of the footy world's excited for this. Actually, every single game I think we're excited for this weekend. But a lot of the talk has been both these teams. Whoever wins this game will win the flag. I'm not 100% on that one, but I think it's a big chance whoever wins this will probably have the easier road to getting into the grand final. They won't have to go through Brisbane. So what we're going to do is with all these little previews, I'll be looking after one team. Obviously, I'll be looking after Melbourne this one. Jamie is going to be looking after the other. We'll give a couple of quotes why we think that they're going to win. And we're not going to leave it at that. We're also going to say what's probably one of the things that we're concerned about as well, too. So I'm going to hand it over to Jamie. Jamie has got the home ground for this one. He's got the black shorts on, wearing the whites. I'm going to hand it over to the great man to give his round 1 Thursday night preview for why Hollywood Magpies are going to take on the Ds and win.
Yep. All right. So me, it's the offensive skill that this team have. And we know they can heavily score. The concern I have is since round 13, they haven't been that same team that we've seen for those first 13 rounds, and they have dropped off significantly. But we know that they do have their impact players. They've got DeGoey in the forward line. They've got Hill, who may or may not. We've got Allard in the forward line. We've got Myercheck. We've got Pendles. We've got side bottom. We've got two very, very, very seasoned and finals experienced players. This whole Collingwood team is a really well-rounded, finals campaigned group of men. I have a watch on Maynard. I think he's probably one of the most dynamic in that half-back line, and he's probably the player that's going to be the barometer for this team moving forward. Why they won't win? Dacos, as much as it's not a team of individuals, his individual skill connects the team. And he can bring a team along with him. So not having Dacos for that first week is a real concern for me. The other one is teams seem to have worked out Darcy Moore. Instead of letting him be the loose defensive halfback who floats and takes intercept marks, teams starting to go through him more and making him more accountable for his defensive or his offensive counterpart. So he has looked shaky when he has been forced to defend, and that whole Collingwood system can sometimes fall down. But he has got it back up there with Quaynell and with Maynard if they get involved. The other thing for me is, do they have cover for Max Gawn? Do they play Cox? Is he in? Is he not? And that's the concern there around that, because as we know, Gawn is one of those versatile ruckmen who can go forward and go back, and probably was stiff to miss out on the All-Australian team because they decided, Melbourne, that is, decided to play him as a dual ruckman up into the last 7 rounds of the season. My question is, do they play Hill or do they play Ginnivan? I would prefer to have Hill on the half-forward line because he gives the flexibility to have DeGoey forward up on the ground and getting more involved in the game if need be, where Ginnivan doesn't quite have that tank to run into that, and he is tied to he's stuck in the pocket there. So I would probably prefer to see Hill over Ginnivan. Not to say that Ginnivan hasn't had a bad last round of the season. So for mine, I have got Collingwood to win, but I'm not convinced that they... In fact, no, I take all that back. I don't have Collingwood in this game. I just think Collingwood have dropped away significantly too much in the last 5 weeks of the season. Jamie Dunn, Pep's turn.
Thank you very much, Jamie.
4 minutes 20.
Fantastic. Awesome stuff. Look, from a Melbourne perspective, I've gone from... I haven't looked at the full season because I think that's a bit of a waste of time. It's like Bathurst. If you look at the Bathurst race, you watch the start, gets off to a bit of a flyer. You don't really care about the middle of the race, and it comes down to the last 5 weeks. It comes down to a game of attrition. It comes down to which team is going to be in the best shape heading into the final laps. And that's what I've had a bit of a look at. I haven't looked at the main season. I've just looked at the last 5 weeks. If you ever look at the Collingwood compared to Melbourne form line, your Collingwood have lost 3 out of their last 5. Melbourne won 4 out of their last 5, with their only loss being a 4-point loss to Carlton, which, let's be honest, they won. So they would be on a winning streak of 5 in a row if that didn't go through. The weather for Thursday night looks like it's going to be wet. And there's one thing that you don't want to be doing is playing the number 1 contested ball team in the league and team that is built for finals football. They did it 2 years ago in 2021, and I reckon they're setting themselves up prime for 2023 as well too. One of the things that they do really, really well this year is that they're scoring heavily in the last quarter. They've scored 151% compared to the rest of the league as well too. So they're literally scoring at for every 1 point that's coming through for them, they're almost doubling it as well too. So they've got a really, shouldn't say doubling it, 1.5 coming through. So they're really outscoring their opponents in the second half of the season, but the fourth quarter they are blowing teams away. Last year they weren't able to do that. But over the last 5 weeks, we've got situations where they're scoring more. So they've had 29 shots compared to Collingwood's 25 goals being kicked. You've got they've beaten them in the clearances side of things. Contested possessions, they've beaten by 24 contested possessions. So they're getting their hands on the ball. And when you've got a midfield of Viney, Petrarca, Oliver, Brayshaw, Viney, they're just bull sparrow in there. You're going to throw, like I said, mentioned Brayshaw. There's just a lot of meat that Collingwood are going to have to continually run into. The other thing that I'm more concerned about from Collingwood's perspective, if it does rain, is they do like to handball the ball quite a fair bit. Melbourne are more of a flick it out but kick it down the ground side of things. And so I can see Melbourne getting on the long kick down the ground. smaller forward line, so I'm not too worried about Darcy Moore, etc. I think a few of them have worked him out, make him accountable. Melbourne do have a smaller forward line, so it means that the Pickett's of Chandler, Cozzy running around. Fritsch comes back, Melksham goes out. They'll probably bring Tom McDonald in, but I wouldn't be surprised if they may bring Grundy in to move Max down forward if it's going to be one of those nights as well too. You got probably one of the best defences in the league as well too, so I'm not too concerned from their backline perspective. May's going to be amazing. Ones like Rivers coming off halfback, my MVP for the year for Melbourne, which is no one would have picked, would have been Judd McVie as well too. You've got May, you've got Lever. They're just going to be doing it all around the ground. And I just think their contested ball work is going to wear Collingwood down. They're the better informed team of the two. My only concern, though, is this. If Melbourne aren't able to stop their running game, it is going to be very, very difficult for May and Lever to be accountable. And they have been caught out. It happened in the game in the King's birthday weekend. They did get called out in the last part of that game. But they had 18 behinds that game, and they should have locked that game away. I'm actually picking Melbourne to win by 4 goals this weekend. I actually do really feel confident about this one. And I think it's going to be a grind for quite a while. But eventually, the team that's in better form and contested form, one team had a 70-point Witches Hats game. The other one had a hard contested game. I think I'd be wanting to go on the hard contested team leading into this weekend.
So you got Melbourne by 4?
You go Melbourne by 4 goals.
I'm going to go Melbourne by 6 goals. All right. And well done. 25 seconds to go.
Beautiful. How good's that? What do you reckon,
Done.
chat? What do you reckon? A couple of things that have come through on the chat. D's to win. Pies are like the D's last year, had their run too early. Yeah, there's a few injury concerns with Collingwood as well, too, and they're not cherry ripe at the moment. Maynard has to watch his descent. I reckon it's a pretty good one there, Tommy. I reckon they'll give the descent out in this game, especially for something like that. D's by 6 goals, and the winner has a saloon passage to the flag. We'll see about that one, but it's going to be an absolute corker game. I'll be going. Can't wait. And I'm spewing I can't go to this game because, crikey, I would have been jacked for this one. And we are talking about the next game to look at. It is, give me a moment. The Friday night game, Blues versus Swans. Tell you what, like I said, if you've been living under a rock, everybody, Carlton has made finals, and you wouldn't even know the Swans have made it with everything that's been going on in Melbourne over the last week. The Swans had a massive chance to get that home final, were beaten by the Deep in the last round of the season. Blues had a good win, and it's going to be all kicking off 7:50 p.m. at the Air Mustard Jet Friday night. Can't go to this game. Absolutely shattered. J-Dog, I'm going to let you, being the home team.
You go first this time.
I've got the next couple of games.
Oh, okay. I'll go first then.
Yeah, I've got the next couple of games of the home team. So you go first, my friend.
Ready, steady, go. All right. Blues, why they will win. You guys familiar with the movie The Mighty Ducks 2? In there was a stunning game-shifting pairing that really altered them and gave them the chance to beat the Icelandic team. We're talking about the Bash brothers. Carlton's midfield will bash the shit out of Sydney's midfield. We're talking Cripps. We're talking Hollands. We're talking Akers. We're talking Pitnet will smash in. Oh, it's going to be so bad. Doherty, Hewitt, McKay in the forward. It's all there. We know Carlton's football. We have spoken about Carlton's brand. They are a brutal bash team. They've got a forward structure that most teams would absolutely cream their jeans to have. De Koning, Kerno, Mackay, Martin, Cottrell. Where does it stop for this team? And they have a huge ability, and this is my only stat that I'm bringing tonight because I don't like to do stats, but they have a huge ability to win the ball back. I think they're number one. I think they're number one in the team in the AFL for that too. The ability for them to actually stop the other team from getting a run on and get that ball back and win it, they are the best at it because they will bash you up. Why they would lose though, and and hand on heart, I don't see Carlton losing this game against Sydney. But why they will lose, it's the ability for Sydney to absorb forward repeats. I don't know how they do it. It's just like like an old dam wall that's been there for 170 years and just will not burst. The way that they can absorb forward 50 attacks is unbelievable. I don't get it. I also think that Sydney have a raft of really, really crafty young players. You know, we've got Heaney, who's no longer young, is getting a bit on there. But Papley, you've got Lizard, Chad Warner, like Errol Goulden. Like, you've got a really strong young list there. I think individually they can be quite brilliant, and I think that they also have the ability to turn the game. I think Heaney running around the forward line, if he gets loose, I think he can also kick 4 or 5 off his boot. We've seen do that. We've seen Papley do the same thing in games this year. The one thing that Carlton concerns me with them actually winning this game is the experience. First time finals experience in 10 years. This team, it's all new to them all. Sydney have been there before. They have done this. They have lived there. They were in the grand final just last year. Yes, they were overawed on that day, but they have been there before. And that's the only thing with Carlton is like a young racehorse. Will they get a bit sweated up in the mounting yard before the game? Sydney won't. Sydney have been there. My big one there, Goulden capped off in a fantastic year. AA jersey on the wing there, even though I think wings are dead. I think he finished with 42 disposals in the final game there, so he capped off a really good game. The only way I can see Sydney maybe stopping Carlton is if they go and put Mills onto Cripps. That's the only way I can see it. Mills is an extremely good lockdown midfielder. And if he goes to Cripps, you lock down Cripps, you lock down Carlton. That's the only key to see them doing this. But I don't see Sydney getting up, and I think it's going to be Carlton by 7.
Goals?
Goals.
Interesting, J-Dog. Well, let me jump onto the Swans here, big fella. You mentioned the Mighty Ducks a little bit earlier, especially the Mighty Ducks 2. Don't know if you remember the Mighty Ducks 2, but at the start, they are a little bit cocky heading into the World Cup or the Olympics, and they got smashed in their first game. I think the expectations of them actually taking the game out got to them a little bit. It's also when it comes to finals. I played many a final, and I know you've played many a game on the triathlete bike. The one thing is that a lot of these games are played above the shoulders many times before the game gets out. Now, Sydney Swans played in a grand final last year. Been playing finals as long as I've been alive. They know what they need to do. Carlton have done nothing. They've done nothing for the last 10 years. And we honestly think that they've been playing this game in their minds for the last 2 weeks. John Longmire, I've told you, you want to talk about brand names, my friend, Victorinox. John Longmire is the Swiss Army knife of the AFL coaches. Whenever he needs to pull out the knife, he pulls out the knife. But for some games, he'll pull out the scissors because that's what's needed. In this game, he's going to pull out the toothpick. He's going to do something that nobody has seen. We know Goulden on the wing is an absolute gun. I know that Lloyd and Rampy down back, yeah, they're getting low on the tooth, but they play smart. You've got a midfield of Heaney. Sorry, Heaney will be up forward. I apologize. When you got a midfield, Parker, old head, he knows how to play finals football. Papley knows how to play finals football. Mills knows how to play finals football. Arguably their best player last year in the grand final, Chad Warner, knows how to play finals football. They are not going to be overawed at all when it comes to this game as well. The thing also is that this team, the Swans, they are second in the league for tackles. I don't care if you're a contested ball team. You're playing against a team that loves it nasty. They had a pressure rating in their last game against Melbourne of over 200 in that third quarter. Now, I thought Melbourne weren't playing too flash. Sydney, when they need to bring it, just like The Rock, he'd raise the eyebrow, stand back, flash the hand and say, just bring it. And they will bring it. Here's the other thing. I don't think Carlton can win it if Charlie Curnow does not fire. We've seen it happen before. I'm a massive believer of no Curnow, no Carlton. I'm sorry. I do not trust their small forwards. I think they will be overawed. I think this is going to be the upset of the weekend. I think everybody thinks this is going to be a shoo-in. The weather is going to be awful. It's going to be raining. Don't worry about clean football. Harry Mackay can't even kick a football if it was dry, let alone with a torrential rainfall coming down as well too. They're going to be stronger around the ball. They have they are the number, what are they? The number one team for rebounds, I believe, in the league as well. They absorb, and then they go the other way, and they will do it. I don't know who's going to stop Pepley. Isaac Heaney, if he is on, good luck with that. And I just think that there's so much to like about Sydney. They are bred for this. They are the underdogs, and they don't care. My concern, though, is this. If Charlie Curnow does get off the leash, it could, I won't say it's going to get ugly, but it is going to make it harder because with no Paddy McCartan down there, it puts a lot of pressure back on the Tom McCartan, and it could get a little bit dicey. So I have said that I'm going by the Swans. I'm going by the Swans by no more than 2 goals. But if this game went either way, I do not know. But I absolutely love this one. And I think this could be the game of the weekend, my friends.
Okay.
Yep.
18 seconds to go.
Why didn't we do this for the first 24 weeks?
Okay.
Where did our reviews of games were this good?
So, Peps, you're saying Swans by 2 goals. I'm saying Carlton by 7.
Yep. I reckon it's going to be an absolute corker. Cannot wait for it. I reckon it's going to be the game of the weekend. There is going to be an upset this weekend, and I think that's going to be it.
It's going to be an absolute.
And I just can't wait for 3AW afterwards.
It's going to be a walk in the park for Carlton.
It's going to be a walk in the park. All right.
All right. So,
this game, my friends, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, which is the Saints versus the Giants, is going to be a corker of a game as well. The Saints are finally back into the finals. Ross the Boss has come back. They didn't fall away like they did last year. GWS, you would almost say that they have been the inform in the back half of the season. And what Adam Kingsley has done for this mob, I absolutely love it. Don't worry about the orange Ferrari. This is the blue-collar tsunami. I'm taking the Giants this week. J-Dog is looking after the Saints. And for a twist of fate, I will be going, even though I'm the away team, I will be going first on this one. All right. The Giants, they absolutely love to dominate possession. Over the last 5 weeks, they've out-dominated their possession count by 33. And when you have a look at some of the names running around, Green, Cornelio, Whitfield, Kelly, absolutely killing it at the moment, and they are magnificent. They've actually got a lot more form back in than they previously had. Remember when they were going a little bit average over the last couple of seasons? They've got their mojo back, and I put a massive hand on the back of Adam Kingsley for getting that one all organised. They've been out tackling, so it's not just getting the ball, they've been out tackling. The pressure factor, rating over 6 tackles more than their opposition over the last 5 weeks, means that they're not the Ferraris. They are monster trucks. They will drive over you and then get the ball and then go downtown. And you know what? If you think you're going to be able to stop them and outscore them, go to their back line. They are measly. This is something that GWS have not been known for. They've been very, very good in the midfield. Their forward lines have been sensational, but their back line, led by Sam Taylor down there, have done an amazing job in 2023. They're outscoring their oppositions by 3 goals over that amount of time as well, which for the GWS, you would have thought, okay, well, without Jeremy Cameron there, who's going to be their goals? When you got Lloyd down there, when you've got Bedford, unfortunately, is not playing. Jesse Hogan's had a new lease on life as well, too, but you've got my love child. We know him as the All-Australian captain. I love him as Toby Green. When he is setting it alight down there, talk about the most destructive player. This guy could turn a final series on its head. And I reckon he is due. He's been a bit quiet in the last few, but he is ready and rocking to dominate this one against the Saints as well, too. They get more meters gained. They get more inside 50s than anybody. So they're getting the ball hard. They're running it in there more than anybody else. They're scoring more than their opposition. They're contesting. And then if you try and get it into their forward line, mate, they shut you down just like 5 a.m. drinks down at the tunnel. Last drinks. You've been shut off, my friend. I'm going to GWS to win this by 3 goals. And unfortunately, they are going to be sending the Saints to hell.
Well, Peps, I'd love to agree with you, but you know you're coming up against the Saints, which are the defensive defensive 50 strength. They are a top 4 team defensively in the comp. So, yes, you've got your little love child. You've got your little Toby Green and your Jesse Hogan and your Daniel Lloyds.
It's not. Sorry, your turn.
Calm down. But St Kilda, the things that go unheralded for, they are slightly above average in centre clearances. They are slightly above average in defensive scoring. You've got Sinclair. You got this is a Ross team. Look at the halfback line: Cordy, Zach Sinclair, Nasiah Wanganeen-Malira. You've got Max King, who could be coming back. You've got some fantastic form. The re-emergence of the Phoenix, of Brad Crouch himself. This team here, do not underestimate the St Kilda Football Club. The why nots, though. We need to go look at the why nots. Why won't the Saints win? Well, the GWS are sort of like Seabiscuit. Nobody expected much from them this year. They looked at them and thought, oh, they're a bit measly. They're not that good. They've got a new coach, but they've got a heart of gold. You know, they have bounced significantly from where they were last year, and probably with the Leon Cameron half year, blah, blah, blah. You know, we know what Richmond did to this after the grand final. They were down, they were trodden, they lost a coach. They had Cogs, who wasn't playing well, the spiritual captain. We know Phil Davis had retired but didn't retire during the year, but they have bounced back well, and it is all around the green machine. He is the concern. We know Jesse Hogan has had fantastic form towards the end of the year, but Toby Green really is that barometer for that team. The one stat, though, Peps, and no one ever talks about this stat, and I think it's probably the most underrated stat that no one's ever going to talk about, is when St Kilda play on the 9th of September, they are 2-0. No one mentions that. When they won their game back in 1939 and 1972. No one mentions that stat. But really, that's the stat that's going to be the winner. They don't lose when they play on the 9th of September. So for mine...
It's not bad for you.
For mine, it's St Kilda, and this probably is going to be the game of the round.
Wow,
St Kilda by 3 goals.
Mate, I tell you what, out of so far of our miniskirt previews, like I said, long enough to cover the essentials, short enough to keep you interested, 8 minutes worth. That game has caused everything on the chat ski as well too. And some of the names, I'll tell you what, the word must be getting around because everybody is up. GWS will be an upset. GWS dropped the ball when they failed to stomp on the Blues' neck and secure a home final. Yeah, you probably got that one there. The Giants flag, 26s, a great price. Lee Mack has joined us back again. Interesting enough, caught up with Lee Mack at the 30th school reunion. He hasn't changed. He is still a superstar as well. He also, I think, got Butters at 50s at the Brownlow medal at the start of the year. So he's going to be loving it. But he also told you, J-Dog, get off his turf when you're talking about horse racing, please. Just don't get it.
I know. Avoid it.
By the way, question for you. If you could punch one player in the face, who would it be? Toby Green or Bailey Smith? Tommy, what a stupid question. Because if I punch Toby Green, he'll punch me back twice as hard. And Bailey Smith, I'll get my hand caught in his mullet, and I don't want that to occur. So I wouldn't punch either of them because I don't believe in violence.
You are talking shit.
I am talking shit. Hey, but you know who isn't talking shit? And he's still bald too. He's very shiny. Lee, he's very shiny. He's got a beautiful house up on the hill in Airport West. Absolutely sensational. He's top bloke. Known him for 40 years. What a lucky guy he is. All right, let's get into our last mini skirt preview. And this is the one the big fella who looks like Jaden Stevenson's dad is excited for. We're talking about the Brisbane Lions versus the Port Adelaide Power. Saturday night up there in Brisbane land. I'll take the new ball here, big fella, and I'm going to open up the bowling. I'm going to tell you now, we've heard of Madonna. We've heard of Taylor Swift. Oh, you can have all of those. I'm going to take Katy Perry because, like the Lions, you're going to hear me roar. And I'm going to roar about the Lions and why they are going to win this one. No, they are sensational, the Lions. When you look, when you've got a midfield of Neil, McLuggage. Connor McKenna's running around there. All right. You've also then got big Oscar the Schnoz McInerney just putting it down their throats wherever you want it. You've got a forward line of Mr. Danaher, Mr. Hipwood, Mr. Cameron to you. They're very, very hard to beat. You've also got Lions. You've got Cam Rayner. What about a back line of Harris Andrews? What are you going to stop? How are you going to stop that? How are you going to stop the halfback runners? They are just lightning off the lips there. They are sensational. Oh, can I just say one thing, though? The one thing that I love about Brisbane is the way they move the ball. As Chopper would say, here, no handballs. Robbo, no handballs. Brisbane Lions, 67% kicking efficiency that they have. They love the long ball. They love to get it long, and they like to get it deep into their forwards. Hipwood will lead up the ground. Donaher will lead up the ground. They'll get it around about the middle. They'll swing onto it, and they'll get it down to Cameron. Lions buried down there in the forward line as well too. When it comes to their possession side of things, they're pretty much even when it comes to contested, but they don't mind losing the uncontested ball. You can take the ball because we'll win it at the defensive end and then go back with the long kicking off the half-back line as well too. They've got a pressure high rating of 26. Now, that means that they're just dominating anybody that they play against from their pressure rating over the last 5 weeks. It is absolutely sensational, and they love to kick the ball long, like I said. Charlie Cameron, talk about the sex factor. He is the X factor for this game. He's due for a massive, massive final. I can't remember the time that he took one by the neck. I'm loving this, and I think Brisbane at home, at the Jabbertoir, at the Gabba the Hut, whatever you want to call it, are going to be roaring Katy Perry style to a 5-goal victory against the Power and black out their chance for the double chance.
Okay. Whilst I agree with absolutely 0% of that.
I will say, though.
Yes.
There is one thing that I'm worried about. If I was Brisbane, I would be concerned that if someone negates Harris Andrews, they can be scored and scored heavily against. He is their kryptonite. And we know that the Brisbane players don't really like to run both ways. They're very much downhill skiers, but they don't like to take the chairlift back to the defensive end. And I think that they could get caught out that way.
Okay. All right. I want to take you all back to when Port Adelaide were unbeaten for many, many weeks. In fact, it was such a long time, I can't remember how many weeks it was. Let's say 13.
Didn't play anyone.
I think that form is just around the corner. Why Port Adelaide will win this game is all down to a young quartet and a forward line that has coughed and spluttered the last 6 weeks, but I think is just getting ready. I'm talking about Mr. AFL himself, the boy from Darley, who's literally won every award that you can possibly win, bar the premiership. We're talking about the Roses. We're talking about the man who doesn't like ice baths. We're talking about the Port Adelaide Football Club and Ollie Wines and the resurgence of him being there as well.
You wanted to trade him 12 months ago.
I still would be up for a trade if we're going to get something good back for it.
No, you won't.
I'm the kind of guy I am. But Peps, Port Adelaide's going to win this game through its speed of midfield. We know what they're like when they get that run on. They have been missing the overlap, but I don't feel we're too far away from it. We've had some signs that is coming back. We have been decimated by injuries the last 6 weeks. The way that we have fought through without a ruckman, without a key forward, without a key defenseman, we have scrambled and we have managed to salvage a top 4 spot, which is a double chance for us. Yes, it's Gold Coast up. Yes, it's Brisbane up in the Gabatoir. We don't care. Our midfielder is going to rip them apart. We know the quality of our young mids. We know that the forward line can work when it gets Finlayson and on-tuck. He was the hottest forward for the first 10 rounds of the season. Has dipped away a bit. We're going to get that back. We've got Todd Marshall who's going to get off the chain. We've got the resurgence of Darcy Byrne-Jones potentially and Ned McKenty in the forward line, who is there for our defensive 50, small forward, that forward rock pocket defensive role that teams seem to roll with these days. I have got no concerns that Port Adelaide can do this. They are a clearance team. They are a clearance team. That's what they do. They score heavily from clearances. They score heavily from stoppages. That's their game. They are a lock-in forward 50 team. That's what they do. Repeat forward 50 entries. Harris Andrews will have his absolute work cut out for him if the ball is getting bombed in 60, 70 times for the game. Why they will lose, though, is two things that Port Adelaide are not good at. Defense, critical to a game of football, and also their scoring effectiveness or efficiency. They get into the forward 50 a lot, but they don't score heavily, and we keep teams close. And that's what can hurt us because we can do a quarter of fantastic work, falls in a hole, 10 goes down, scores a goal, and undoes a whole quarter's worth of work. Port Adelaide haven't got a strong backline. We have got Jonas in there. We've got an Alir who can be susceptible.
Love 2 times. The
same way that Moore has been found out when you make him accountable. That roaming defensive 50 player is a bit hard there. And Brisbane do have a forward line that does concern me. They have got markers. They have got some key markers in there. And I don't know if we have the gorillas to really go with them and challenge them that.
Yep.
Saying that, I think we have the speed, and I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to have to rely on pure, clean football because we've all seen Port Adelaide football the last 6 weeks. When we get on a roll, we score heavily. We score 5 or 6 very quickly.
Yeah, I think both these teams do exactly the same thing, J-Dog. I think you're right that when there's momentum, both these teams tend to use it to their advantage. Probably better than any club out there outside probably Melbourne when they're striking. But I think the two of them outside the centre clearances, front of the square,
tasty.
Ron chair.
But that being said, Port are going to win by 10 points.
Interesting.
Tight.
You know what? If I was Fagan, you know what I'd do?
What would you do?
I would get Rayner, and I reckon I'd go maybe Kitty Coleman.
Yep.
And I would pretty much go straight crunching Rosie and Butters because I know that they can be antagonistic. They've done it to Gorn. I would love to see the tables turned and have those two.
I reckon Zork's would be better for that role.
Who?
Zorko.
Yeah, Zork definitely. But I would have them do exactly what those two do to other players around the ground. Every contest, I'd be antagonising, bumping, pinching, prodding, anything I could to those two at every stoppage I can to say, boys, we're not taking any shit from you this weekend.
Is that because Butters upset Max Gorn because he beat him?
I beat him. Wholeheartedly, I would love to see them get their own desserts.
I love it.
I do. I think I'd be loving it. But you know what? J-Dog, did we get under 8 minutes or did you waffle on too long?
No, 8 minutes perfect. We got put in 8 seconds.
And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. As promised, the 8-minute preview for all 4 games for round 1 of the 2023 AFL Finals series. So I hope you liked and give us some feedback on the chat. Give us some feedback in the comments as well. So who do you think is going to win and why? All right, Big Dog. You know, we've only got one thing left for our show. There's only one thing that we have to cover, and it's simply this. It's J-Dog's Fan Tale.
Here we go.
And don't give it away on the chat, Tom Roker, if you know the answer. Just wait till the show's finished to give other people a go. Please.
Alrighty-o.
We've had complaints. ACCC contacted us about it.
All right. I'm going to stop at that line.
Okay.
Who am I?
Bailey Smith.
Close, actually.
Oh.
Born June 22, 1949, she is an actress of theatre, television, and film. After many theatre roles, she made her film debut with Julia, 1977. Both critical and commercial successes came quickly with roles in The Deer Hunter, Sophie's Choice, I had this the other week actually, Out of Africa, and Mamma Mia, and The Iron Lady in 2011. And she's won a bunch of Golden Globe nominations. I've edited that one there because it's too easy.
Yep.
Next one. Who am I? been around for a while and won some awards because it's been half chopped off. 2000, 2001, and 2006, they were the highest selling children's video sales at the AEST Awards. When the group performed at Madison Square Garden in 2003, front row tickets were sold for US $500 each. In 2008, the group found themselves in the midst of a ticketing scandal with scalpers trying to sell $19 tickets for almost $2,000 online. Those tickets were later voided, and after 2012, after the departure of 3 original performers, the group added its first female member.
Steel Panther.
Steel Panther, when they invite people to come up on stage.
All right, lock your fantails in. We've got a couple already. Dame Edna, Prince Charles, Marilyn Manson. You're all wrong. You're having a go in life, and that's the main thing. And that is our week 1 finals 2023 preview edition. Hey, I think it was an absolute corker of an episode. If you like it, like I said, leave a review, leave a comment. We'd love to hear from you. More importantly, for everybody who's joining us live on the chat and everybody watching us on the YouTube and listening to us on the podcasts, our originals, our Lace Outlaws, thank you very much. We'll be back this time next week, and I will be back for my tips for this week's games, a really brief one on Tipped Out. But on behalf of the Lace Out team, I'm Chris Pepper and the co-host with the most, Jamie the J-Dog Wallis. Have a cracking week. And before we wrap up, J-Dog, Jamie Wallis, how do you, my friend, want your finals action?
I want it to lace out.
Yeah, come on, D's. Do the power. Everybody, I hope your team wins unless you're Collingwood, but just have a good time and enjoy the footy. Drink responsibly. And remember what you could be buying. Gamble responsibly.
See you, listeners. All right, wrap the shop, mate.
Thanks for listening to our latest episode. If you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe, rate, and leave a review on iTunes. I'm your host, Chris Pepper, and with Jamie Wallis, we give you your footy how you want it. Peace out.